So, Jace. Let's talk about Jace. So yeah, we left Jace with Valentine, with the circle, and at the end of season 1, we don't know which side he's on. We don't know if he's good or bad. And you will find out fairly quickly what's going on in season 2. But unfortunately you will have to wait until season 2. I can tell you that Jace's path is not easy.
Okay.
At the beginning of the season, he is beaten and tortured emotionally and physically to the point of almost breaking. He is given new information and twists on old information and information about his past and his father and his upbringing and his falcon and everything that there is in his mind that could torture him is there at the beginning of season 2.
Jace needs a hug.
Jace needs a hug.
Jace needs a big hug.
He doesn't really get one until like episode,
Filling me out.
3.
Episode 7 again.
Episode 7, he gets a little,
kind of
the loving he needs.
And Matt, how does the story between Jace and Alec evolve during season 2?
Alec has a lot going on with other things that sort of distract him from some of his responsibilities, and he loves his brother, his Parabatai, a tremendous amount, and I think that he maybe takes for granted that he'll always love him back, and that he'll always be there, and I think that's a common thing.
Right, and I think unfortunately they both do, but there is a niceness in that same saying, in that they know they can rely on each other no matter what. As far as Parabatai goes, I think we can tell you that you can all look forward to episode 3, which is very heavily based on the Parabatai. We also go back to younger Jace and younger Alec and younger Izzy, and we see them through, we see them meet each other for the first time and how that relationship begins to span. That all happens in episode 3, which is one of my favorites.
It's a great episode. And also, later on we get pieces of them working through issues together in a very, it's that way that people do when they're very close. They know each other, they know they don't have to sort of say everything.
Intimate.
It's very intimate, yes. So it's very, the Parabatai relationship is one of the best ones in the show, I think.
I agree. There's nothing like Parabatai, and we love it.
It's the second best one. It's the second best relationship.
The second best relationship, maybe.
And I wanted to talk about diversity and representativity in television today, because we look at the shows nowadays and we see different faces, we see different colors, we see different everything, and I think that people are being heard and they see themselves on screen right now. What do you think about that, and if you have a message to send to your young fans?
I was recently at a book signing for Tales for Shadowhunters Academy, one of Cassie's books, and a fan asked me a similar question. And I saw that growing up, not seeing yourself in your idols was a very difficult thing to do. Not seeing a part of you in the people that were being championed, the people that were accomplishing their goals and succeeding, made it kind of seem as though there wasn't a place for you in that realm. And to have the responsibility of now being that person, to have the ability to be a part of a world where television is now representative of the world we live in, is incredible. And I think it should continue moving in that direction. And I think it's very important to see yourself in your idols, and to see people like you or from similar circumstances, or someone that you can relate to succeeding, because then it makes you different cultures.
People need to value the person for their talent,
Yes.
not for how they look physically. And I think that's very important. I think that's a very important. I think that whatever you want to do in life, whether it is to be an actor, a doctor, a teacher, you need to prepare yourself so you can be the best version of yourself. That way no one can tell you what to do, as long as you're prepared and you can accomplish anything.
But always bring a piece of yourself with you. Don't try to adapt to whatever the norm is. Don't try to just oh, well, this kind of person's getting cast. Bring yourself and your culture and the things that are important to you so that those things translate on screen so that people like you can see those as well.
Only you can be you. You're the only person who can be you, who can bring what you specifically can bring to whatever it is that you love to do, whatever your passion is. Never lose that.
I think that I see myself more and more on screen as like a woman that is herself. How do you feel about portraying a character that is so true to herself and that also represents so many people out there that like to see that, they like to see a strong woman in power and in a position of freedom?
I think it's really important, and it's something that I always looked to as a kid when I was watching things growing up. I always looked for those strong, empowered women, and now we see them everywhere, and it's happening so much more often now, and I think that's amazing. And to all of the women on our show are strong, empowered women, both on and off screen. And you see that a lot this season. You see every single one of the women on the show take charge and take action. And I think that's so important for everyone to see. And to be a part of that community, to get to work with someone like you and the rest of the women on the show, and to be a part of that community is amazing.
So many people out there that like to see that. They like to see a strong woman in power and in a position of freedom.
I think it's really important, and it's something that I always looked to as a kid when I was watching things growing up. I always looked for those strong, empowered women, and now we see them everywhere, and it's happening so much more often now, and I think that's amazing. And to all of the women on our show are strong, empowered women, both on and off screen. And you see that a lot this season. You see every single one of the women on the show take charge and take action. And I think that's so important for everyone to see. And to be a part of that community, to get to work with someone like you and the rest of the women on the show, and to be a part of that community is amazing. J-Lo and Salma Hayek have left the door really high, and I feel that it's a big responsibility for Latinas to keep leaving that door really high and being an example to young girls to say that, you know, you can do this as long as you prepare yourself, and you're a good example.
And I want to know about sagas, because all of you are now living in one, but two of you have done another big saga movie. I wanted to know the difference between doing a saga movie and a saga TV series, because...
Well, I think the big difference that we have is that just gonna write everything I say?
Yes.
Everything?
Everything.
Every word?
Every word.
Careful, careful, careful,
And then?
What if we,
And then?
what if we say like a tongue twister?
And then?
Dumb.
And then?
Be careful.
Yes.
And then? And then? And then?
Okay.
I'm so sorry to whoever's typing that out. So I think yeah, amazing. I think the big difference we have between a movie and a TV show is time. Time, yeah, right? Time. We have more time to develop these characters and to develop our own skills to match what these characters can do. You know, I'm not half angel. I can't jump 15 feet. I can't move as fast as Jace can move. But I'm training myself every day when I'm on set to try and match what Jace can do. And it takes time. And within a movie, you have maybe 6 months to do something like that. And with this, we have a year. So we have double the time to develop these characters and make them as real as we possibly can within our own ability, and stretch our ability and stretch the things we can do to make me Jace, so I end up becoming as much like Jace as I can.
And it's the time to develop the characters as well as the relationships. You know, we've all gotten closer as a cast, as well as we've changed as individuals between the time we were cast and now. And that heavily influences how the characters change. And the characters are also changing. That's something else about television versus film. When you have a film, you know where your character starts, you know where your character ends from the beginning. We don't know sometimes until maybe 2 or 3 days before we shoot what's coming next for our character. So we're constantly changing what we're doing, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly growing with our characters. And I think that's something that's so fascinating to get to really commit to a character like this.
I think it was really great having all of season 1 to establish a character and then slowly work on them, because it was a ongoing process of establishing what it is based off of the books and what it is to be each of these people. And in season 2, the opportunity then to further that within those boundaries, within what you've established, was really, it's a great opportunity to have that. And so hopefully you get to explore those things within those characters you've created, you spend time with, which is, it means a lot. Like, we all love our characters. Like, I love Alec, and I'm sure all of us love our characters. So what's most important to us is to see them through all these things that they're doing.
And that's something I can give everyone in the cast of the show major credit for, is everyone loves these relationships, they love the characters, and they really, really care about them. So we care about them as much as you guys do, so thank you.
And I gotta ask, if you guys could choose another saga to be a part of, which one would it be?
Star Wars?
The Hunger Games.
I would have to say Star Wars as well, unfortunately.
I don't know.
It's a hard one.
I don't know. How about somebody suggest something to me and I'll consider it. I like all of them.
Harry Potter would be cool. Harry Potter would be very cool.
I mean,
Imagine having been part of Lord of the Rings. That would
Lord of the Rings would be great.
so cool.
Alberto, how will you master the art of being a vampire? Is it tricky or?
Very difficult.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, there comes the supernatural abilities that you actually have to learn how to control. And I think that's something that Simon gets to play with a lot this season. You get to see him try to learn how to use his vampire speed, his vampire strength, and some of his senses. He really is trying to hone them and become a better vampire. It's something that I think is different from the books. He really wants to accept that part and learn how to do that. But also there's the living the lifestyle of a vampire that's very difficult to adjust to. Going from the mundane world, daytime, nighttime, having food, everything, to having to switch to a solely blood diet and only coming out at night is very, it's not conducive to a regular lifestyle, one that Simon really wishes he still had.
And I wanted to know if you researched vampire mythology, because it goes way back and it goes a different directions.
Yeah, it goes pretty far back. It's actually in the Codex. There's a lot about the origin of vampires in our world. So if you guys look at that, you can kind of read into it. But then I did my own research as well. I watched a lot of vampire films. What We Do in the Shadows was a big one for me.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that, it's really awesome. I recommend it. Because one thing about Simon that I thought was funny is, like, I've seen memes about it. Like, most vampires have been alive for like hundreds of years. And then there's Simon Lewis, who's been a vampire for like 2 months. So you get to kind of play with that with that movie. It's pretty fun.
One of my favorite things, one of my favorite memories from season 1 is we lived next door to each other during season 1, and is hearing you talk about, I watched this vampire movie, because every day it was something new. Every day it was something, there was some new little vampire tidbit that I got to learn about. It was fascinating.